So understanding that there's issues, what issues exist though? Are we losing accountability of people?
No, we don't lose accountability, but also it's accountability with the process. Just like, for example, most people are here for either separate or reenlistment.
Mm-hmm.
We take accountability for you're getting close to your date of separation.
Okay.
And is the action being made?
Okay, good. So, question for you, ma'am. Why do you think it's important today to know and understand what the trends are that exist in your organization? As your senior airman, as a senior airman, why do you think it's important for you to know? Now, I don't know what your AFSC is or anything like that, but why do you think it's important for you to know what those trends are today?
Well, maintenance, craft maintenance.
Oh, y'all got a big one going on. So why is it important to know that?
Accountability, we don't fly. It's kind of our mission.
So from a trend perspective in maintenance, one of the big things that we have, one of the big concerns that the chiefs have at Preach is in the maintenance bay, they have blue suiters, they have us over there turning wrenches, and right across the flight line is civilian contractor who's paying the airmen twice, 3 times as much. Any other maintainers in here? Yeah, right? Paying off 3 times as much directly across the flight line. And oh, by the way, some of the people who were over there are some of the same airmen who was in the same warehouse that you all were, right? And so on Monday they were, on Friday they were airmen, so and so. Now they're Mr. So and so. They work across the street. Huge trend to keep people in, to provide the quality of life initiatives and things like that, to keep airmen in as airmen. That's a big deal in the maintenance world. So I asked, why do you think that's important? The reason why I asked that is because the trends that you all are dealing with right now, as A1, as senior airmen, staff sergeants, so forth and so on, you all need to have an understanding of what those trends are in your industry. Because when you become Chief Patterson and Chief James and Chief Willis and Chief Sada and Chief Metrock, you all will be expected to have fixed that. And know and understand the new trends that will be facing you when you become Chief Blount, Chief Mosley, Chief Espinoza. You know what I mean? You all need to know how to fix those trends now. And you all are in the best positions in your organizations to elevate those concerns up to the leadership. And also provide them with ways or suggested solutions to fix those trends. That's our responsibility collectively. Well, ma'am, you get to ask anybody on this side of the room a question.
On the back wall, I can see.
Back wall?
Yes.
Who's that? Sergeant Smith? He's a maintainer.
So,
Proud to be.
Sergeant Smith, number 15, have you set yourself up for success in the Air Force or your career field? If so, explain.
Success in the Air Force, in your career field? If so, explain.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Well, just getting a little back history about myself. I've been at Nellis for 11 years.
Okay.
So I've only PCS once before. I was going to Korea and actually just got orders again to Turkey. I like to measure my own personal success, probably not necessarily maybe not necessarily being the greatest at what I do, but I help ease things along. I maintain and provide a solid foundation to help elevate those around.
Okay. So how do you define success? Set yourself up for success, right? How do you define success? Is that it? By setting other people up?
Assisting, helping with the mission and all that, supporting them like a fellow wingman.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that they're guiding them, or at least the young kids that we have coming in, and providing the right frame of mind to set them up to where that they even would go ahead for themselves, so they can also eventually be in a better position of how I've been involved in this. This is really my first kind of job because I came when I was 17. Turning 30.
Oh yeah. So let me ask you this. How do you convey what you said as far as what you determined to be success in your EPRs? How do you convey that message that that's what you just determine your levels of success is for your career field? How do you lay that out in your EPR? And who sees that?
As far as right now, EPRs, leading teams, educating, providing opportunities of stuff that people have worked on before, stuff that I have worked on, showing this is the way you do it. I have a longer back history of like working stuff because I'm 22 cruisers, so I'm a little bit of work with IMUS and all that.
Okay, good.
Make things a little easier and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Conveying that, say, hey, this is what I've done to help
Right.
you guys to set a standard for people coming in
Yeah.
and taking over the program.
And this is what you've conveyed in your EPRs, right? That's what you have to do. Many times we can speak it better than we can write it, right? Because you get one little line to say all that you need to get said, right? But it's very important that you understand your records is the only thing I get to see when I'm looking at your records for the purpose of promotion, right? I don't hear the story behind it. So you have to be able to articulate that story in every line of your EPR, every one of your EPRs, right? There are no years you get off, right? You don't get to take a break 1 year and then do something cool 1 year. You have to be on every year. Good job, sir. Thank you. You get to ask somebody on this side of the room a question.
Bouncing over to my counterpart.
Is that here?
Yes, sir.
Sergeant Smith? Yeah, you've been waiting on that one. He's like, yeah, I'm going to get him. Sergeant Smith, so which number, sir?
Number 2, how will your decision affect you?
So before you answer that, Sergeant Smith, know this. Whether you decide to stay or go, none of our business, right? But today you are an airman, tomorrow you can be a civilian, right? How would you address that question?
How would it affect me personally? Well, I do intend to re-enlist, so obviously you got to think about benefits. So if I plan to stay in for a full 20, potentially get that pension. Finish out my degree plans. I'm like halfway done with my bachelor's, so obviously be able to do that. Not have to worry about using any of my GI Bill or anything like that. And obviously just career progression. So it gives me, I guess, like a better chance to learn my job more, being in it for longer, and new equipment coming in. So I get to learn my job more and kind of like what you were saying earlier, teach others beneath me to
that's right.
build them up as well.
Yeah, that's great. Increase your opportunities to lead, right? And develop airmen that you serve with, things like that. It might even allow you to pay some more bills, pay some bills off. It may even allow you to save some money up. It may allow you to understand what your retirement pay look like and to develop a financial plan, right? By staying in, allows you to be able to do that. All legit, y'all think? Yeah, sir, you get to ask anybody on this side of the room a question. Sir, what's your name? Stallings. All right, I recognize the name. So, Tech Sergeant Stallings. What number you got for Tech Sergeant Stallings?
Go with question 7.
Question 7, everybody. Just make a little line through it. So what's the question, sir?
It's, does your military experience add to or detract from your degree specialty? Explain.
Yeah. Does it add to or detract from?
So having retrained, I have an original CCAF from maintenance.
Okay.
So I have that one, and I'm also working on my CCF in healthcare administration while getting my bachelor's in healthcare administration too. So the experience that I'm getting with the healthcare administration job helps me earn certifications. So I can partner those with the bachelor's in healthcare administration for later down the line.
So what was the first part of that question? Number 7, was it?
Does the military experience add or detract from your specialty?
Yep, military experience, right? So, I mean, even having a different career field, even have a different career field, should add to the new career field that you moved into, right? And then from there to be able to take on a special duty, but not a special duty per se, but a special position, right? To be able to go from there to become the Wing Command Chief Executive, right? Happens all across the Air Force, right? Happens all across the Air Force. And 9 times out of 10, I would bet before you were even considered for that position, somebody looked at all of your records. Every one of your EPRs, all your PT scores, and all your decorations before you were hired on to take on that position.
Yes, sir.
Right? One could say that added to.
Right. Yes, sir.
Your experiences added to the position that you're in right now. Right? You may go from one career field to another, and they're going to review your records. You're going to say, you know what? This is exactly the type of person that we want in this position. One could say it adds to. How could it detract? Sir, how could it detract?
To me, honestly, I don't think it really matters.
Okay.
I think it could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you excel at your job
Mm-hmm.
or at your career, you'll be successful. If you put your hard work and effort into it, you'll be successful at it. It could detract if you are putting more time into your degree plan than you are into your job,
Mm-hmm.
and you are not actively performing your job at your best ability because
Mhm.
you're worried more about your education than you are your job.
Oh yeah. So we do have we've seen it before. You know, somebody who don't perform very well, and their records reflect that. Their records reflect it. You know, that EPR will capture that level of performance. So when it comes time to go on that special duty or that TUI for training or so forth and so on, it comes up. It comes up every time. Right? No, this might not be the person we want to send down for that leadership course with the general or the colonel. You know what I mean? You have to know and understand what things you've done in your past records and how that's going to come back. Whether it come back positively or negatively, you have to be ready for that. Ultimately, you own your career path. Right? It's not the other guy most of the time. It's not the other guy. It's you. Yeah. So, great question. Sir, you get to ask somebody on this side of the room a question.
Are you in already, Mel?
No. He asked me
Not
a
yet?
question, but not from the list.
Mm-hmm. What number you got for us, Stall?
Last one, number 20. Are you willing to take on a new career field specialty entirely, or are you happy and content in your current AFSC?
I looked out.
Uh-huh.
I just got picked for retraining, so I'm.
This is good.
Yeah. So now I will stay in. If I had stayed in my previous AFSC, no, I would have been getting out, and I prepared myself for that.
So what was your prior AFSC? Or don't tell me the number, just tell me the name.
F-16 crew chief.
Okay. And then where are you going into?
Education and training at UTN.
Awesome. Right? This is what we know to be true. Just the maintainers are the best maintainers in the world. Love them. Some of the best defenders, these two right here. Now between the two of them, they got to fight out who the best defender is. But to me, they're the best two defenders I know going. But at some point, the Air Force is going to ask you to retrain. To give up the job that you love to death. And become an Air Force MTI. Go down to Lackland Air Force Base and lead and encourage those new recruits. They're going to ask you to step outside the med group, the medical community, and become an MTL. Go down there and hang out in the tech school to encourage those new recruits, right? Or new airmen at that time, right? To come out of your maintenance F-16 world to become a dorm leader. Question is multifaceted. Question is, has your records allowed you to be selected? And if so, are you ready to go? To take that Air Force need on. Are you ready to go? If you're not, thank you for your service. It's just that simple. You know what I mean? It's just that simple. The Air Force asked me when I was in Guam to come to Nellis Air Force Base and take over the leadership of the LRS down there at, the senior enlisted leadership position down there. And I said, I think y'all got it wrong. I'm a group chief. Why would I go back to the squadron? They said, well, what had happened was, right? Y'all know that story? Yeah. And it came down to, so these are your options, chief. You either go on and take on that position, or you go ahead and retire. I said, well, where are my orders at to Nellis Air Force Base? Right? See how that worked? Chiefs, just like master sergeants and tech sergeants, all got pink slips at one point. And I think some of you all may remember, you see tech sergeants, there's only a couple of tech sergeants, you all probably remember enlisted review board. No? When the Air Force asked the commanders, squadron commanders, to line all of their tech sergeants up and give them a number, 1 through 50. Said, okay, commanders, thanks, got it. You can only pick 10 of your 50. The rest of them, you gotta let them go. First thing we went to were all the records, EPRs, decks, awards. As the enlisted leadership, we had to be able to present to the commander, sir, these are all 50 of your airmen. These are the top 10. And just like that, the other from 11 to 50, whatever the number was, received a message from the commander, thank you for serving. Same thing with the chiefs. Ours was a little bit, less rough, but, we got them. Hey, chiefs, we are overmanned in chiefs. We'd like to know if you'd like to retire early. My wife asked me, she said, so, if the Air Force decides you are one of the, a number that they need to go, she asked me, are you ready to go? And I told her yes. At that time, I had been in probably 22 years, 22 or 23, I think. And I said, yeah, I'm ready to go. And I could answer that question with conviction because by that time I had 5 degrees. Right? So I could go out to the community and find a job, a career, or whatever's in between there. Right? To continue on the lifestyle that I was leading. So I was preparing myself, and I have been preparing myself for 25 years, if you will, for that moment, or for the moment that I retire, or whatever. Right? And that's what you all should be doing today and every day. Because today you are an airman, tomorrow you could be a civilian. We had a master sergeant from my unit. Got a phone call from the wing commander and the wing command chief while he was PCSing en route to his new station, home on leave. Phone call came from the wing commander and the command chief requesting that he report to the nearest Air Force installation to out-process the Air Force. He wasn't ready. Right? And during that particular period of the enlisted review board, sometimes you got a pass. They say, hey, whoa, slow down. We met the amount, the minimal number of airmen that we need to get out of the Air Force. So you all are good now. All right, so that's the commander taking the pink slip back. The question is, are you ready? That could be any one of us in this room at any point in time. Are we ready? If not, we need to get ready. All right? This informed decision briefing, and the reason why I'm here is not to convince you to stay in the Air Force. Hopefully you didn't get that. But it's really just to kind of help you with that decision-making process. I know what the Air Force has done for me over 29 and a half years. I also know that the Air Force is not the best thing going for everybody in this room. Question is, are you ready to give up a career to go into a job? Have you prepared yourself? Have you prepared the airman that's going to take over your job when you go? What does your records look like? When someone looks at your records, are they the records that would clearly articulate to whomever is doing the reading of your records that you are ready to take on a new job, maybe become a dorm leader, maybe take on that special duty, maybe take on that additional level of leadership, maybe more everything, to lead and supervise. Maybe. I don't know. Only you know. Question was asked, how will it affect you? Your decision today, or whenever you got to hit that button. You may decide to hit the button to stay on the big blue bus. All right? But have you had that conversation with your spouse? Because they may not have any intentions of you staying on the big blue bus. When you're married and you have a family, that's a family decision. Not just yours. Right? Those of you that are not married and don't have kids, should you decide to go, if you haven't prepared yourself to go, this might be the best thing going for you. How do you define success? Everybody is probably going to define it differently. You know what I mean? For some it may be money. For some it may be power. For some it may be position. For some it just may be giving back to their fellow airmen. You all should be smart on that. You all should know and understand the differences between a job and a career. Had a great friend of mine retired as a HH-60 or something like that, helicopter mechanic, 24-year master sergeant, retired, packed up his family and kids, went out to Yakima, Washington, looking for a job in security, criminal justice. He had a degree in criminal justice, but he had 24 years as a maintainer. And every job he went to for security, what do you think they asked him?
What's your experience?
Do you have any experience in this? The answer was no. 5 years in Yakima, Washington. Packed up the family again, headed out to Las Vegas, Nevada. Got a job here as a security guard in the casino. Right? 24-year retired master sergeant with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. There was a mismatch there between experience and education level, degree. You know what I mean? That happens. That happens also when you are in a career field and your degree doesn't match your career field while you're in the Air Force. Where you got cops taking computer degrees, right? Remember, that's one of the questions they're going to be looking at when it comes to purpose of promotion. Does your degree enhance your current AFSC? If it doesn't, and the next guy does, right, we know how that might turn out. So those questions were just some thoughts for you all to take back with you. If any of those questions, if you got questions about any of those, if you have questions about any of those questions on that page, send me an email. If you need clarity, send me an email, right? Let me know. And I'll help you try to kind of work through why I felt that question was important for you all to know at this point in your life, right? Talk to your family and friends about your life and your decision that you have to make. Ultimately, it's your decision. But let me tell you, what they say, a happy wife is a happy life, right? I know that to be true, right? Because they have careers as well that you should be taking into consideration when you decide to stay or go. All right? Thank you all again for your service. Make the right decisions for yourselves and your families, whatever that is. And we're committed to you, you know, from cradle to grave, as they say, in this. Whether you're just getting in or whether you're on your way out the door, we're there for you, right? From the J-Test program to the Hiring Our Heroes program. Any of y'all heard about that? Right? Those two programs, solid programs, right? Should you decide to go 6 months out, go on and take on an internship with Google, Microsoft, Amazon, wherever you like, right? Master Sergeant that used to work for me here at Creech, retired 24-year Master Sergeant, right? Got out, making $100,000 with Amazon as an Air Force truck driver, right? But he prepared himself. He did all the right things. His records reflected all the right things. Just didn't get promoted. But he prepared himself for that time and when the Air Force would ask him to go. It was on his terms, rolled out, and still making money. Still taking care of his family. Yeah. Thank you all again. Again, Chief Parker, 799th Air Base Squadron Chief Enlisted Manager. Reach out to me, let me know what I can do for you. Oh? All right, have a great day.
Thanks again, Jake.
Yep, no.
Appreciate it.
All right.